Hi, I'm Nancy O'Neill, and welcome to Suncoast FYI. This week we take a look at the red tide and hurricane season, a look at the nonprofit Project 12, outreach.org, plus a look at the upcoming Englewood Pioneer Days, all next on Suncoast FYI. It's no secret we're feeling and smelling the effects of red tide here on the Suncoast. Giving us an insight into this ongoing problem in the midst of hurricane season is SNN meteorologist Marco Lamano. Well, I'm happy to have you here. I would like to know a little bit more of what's going on with this tide and what's the status, Marco?
Well, it's been a long-lasting algae bloom for sure, and nobody needs me to tell them that. But it is something that, while we're feeling some improvements recently, partly due to the easterly breeze, the organism associated with it, Karenia brevis is what it's called. I'll try not to say too much, but the organism associated with red tide is still in moderate to high quantities over much of the Suncoast. Now, recently we've had an onshore wind, a westerly wind that has helped bring not just the dead sea life, but also the smell of it onshore, in some cases further onshore than one would normally think.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've been smelling it up at the college, and that's unusual.
Yeah, it is. It is. It normally does not get that far in. It can, but it hasn't in recent years, at least not to this kind of frequency.
So we all know all of that. What's going on? Who's doing what? What can we expect in the near future?
Well, with the easterly winds we're getting, and that looks to be, at least for the near future, what we're getting, that'll help to at least mitigate the effects. That's not a cure for red tide, but it will help as far as not being as, offensive of a sight and smell as we've been seeing. They're definitely a mix of things. A lot of people really want to know what does cause this red tide. And yes, while the organism associated with the Karenia brevis is a natural organism, Milk Marine has been clear on their website as well that both natural and human contributed sources affect red tide.
We just exacerbated. I mean, it's a natural phenomena.
Yes. Phosphorus levels, for example, not necessarily from Lake Okeechobee, but from other bodies of water that go from land to sea, can help exacerbate the problem, because what you have then is that you have the organism basically kind of feasting on this stuff. It acts as a bacteria reservoir for the Karenia brevis organism. And so that will help exacerbate the problem. It can be natural, but it can also be worsened by us. It is a combination. They don't have a percentage of what the combination is, but we do know that we can help cause it based on that. Port St. Lucie, for example. Our friends over there are having an issue with red tide, and FAU commissioned a study that's found that the septic system there has decreased the water quality and has helped contribute to the red tide bloom. It's not the cause of red tide, but it does contribute to the bloom.
So that's something I hope we're aware of over here as well.
Yeah, I have, to my knowledge, I have not yet seen a study that has analyzed our septic system in relation to red tide. I do know that Milk Marine has said that there are 12 different sources of which they know that the algae can kind of hold on to and is attracted to. And some of them, as I said, are natural, but some of them are human contributed as well.
Well, being that we're in such a state that we are, there's a couple cancellations that I would like to mention that can't take place this weekend because of it. It's the Marine Max Sarasota Aquapalooza. That's canceled. It's not rescheduled yet. And the 72nd Annual Labor Day Regatta has also been canceled and not rescheduled at this time, which is very unfortunate. So we have a couple minutes left. Let's talk a little bit about being in the peak of hurricane season. How's it been so far?
Yes, the historical peak for hurricane season is September 10th. We have actually not seen an enormous amount of activity in the month of August, which is pretty impressive. However, we are looking at Tropical Storm Florence As of our talk now, it will be forming soon. When this airs, we may very well already have Tropical Storm Florence. Long range, it does not look like it'll impact us. It's coming off the coast of Africa, and it looks like the Bermuda High is very weak, and so it'll find a weakness around that and curve out. That's what a lot of models are showing. There are some other tropical waves we're watching long term late next week that are coming off the coast of Africa. Long range, they don't look scary right now. I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression there. They will be worth monitoring, though.
Sure.
All of us on the weather team, me and Justin and Dan, will definitely be monitoring them. Right now, nothing to freak out over, nothing that's affecting us in the next 7 days, but definitely things coming next week that we will have to watch closely.
Okay, now not having hurricanes has been a bad thing for red tide. Right?
Yes.
Because it hasn't moved it along.
It's amazing. A hurricane could actually help dilute this and kind of wash it away, but definitely not the solution we're looking for.
We don't want that as a solution, no. We'll keep the hurricanes at bay.
Yes.
Okay, thanks so much for all of this information,
You're very
Marco.
welcome.
Appreciate it. After the break, the nonprofit Project 12 Outreach stops by, so don't go far. We are now joined by Valerie McKay, president of Project12Outreach.org, and Al Smith, the PR director of Project12Outreach.org. They're going to tell us more about their nonprofit. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. What is Project 12 Outreach and what is the function of it?
Well, Project 12 Outreach is a nonprofit 501c3. We go into homeless shelters all over the state of Florida, and we provide free hairstyles to the shelters. We have 51 outreaches across Central Florida right now. We have a team that go in and provide hope for our community, get them ready for jobs, and strengthening our community one hairstyle at a time.
Okay, and children at this point?
Yes,
before they go back to school?
We just we partnered with Bayside Outreach in Wauchula for a backpack brigade where we provided free hair services for the children getting ready to go back to school.
And you started this?
Yes, I did.
A couple of years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago. It started at the Resurrection House on Euclid here in Sarasota, Florida. And so we go there weekly and we provide hair services to the homeless shelter there.
Okay.
And that's our main hub. That's our number one right now.
I mean, how did you come up with this concept? How did you see the need? Other than seeing people that obviously were in need of help in so many ways, but how did you come up with this particular vision, Valerie?
I saw it in our community, our homeless outside of the salon, where I have on Gulfstream. One of my clients had said, I really wish that someone would help them. And I said, yeah, I can make a difference.
Okay, and how did Al come on board? How did you become involved with Valerie's?
Well, I like the idea and the concept of it, and used to be a cosmetology instructor as well, so I'm closely related to the subject. And the most important thing is the cause of our mission. And the mission is to provide a good argument for anybody who is in need and help for a hairstyle. And you get fed, there's so many people who feed you and all this stuff.
Sure.
But a hairstyle lasts you for a month. You can go for a job interview with a good hairstyle, but with an empty stomach. Vice versa, it doesn't really work. And this is the key factor to provide service to veterans, to single moms, to everybody who is falling on a hard time and needs a little bit of help to get back into the community, to get integrated in it, and to be a valued member of society again. And that's where Project 12 Outreach comes in, and where we try to help people to really help them and get back on their feet. And
it seems, it's something, I don't want to diminish this, but it seems something so small, but it makes such a huge impact on someone. I mean, we all know when we get our hair cut, it just makes you feel better, not only look better, but feel better. And I think that's just an amazing thing that you can do, to make such a huge impact on the community. So thank you.
It's also caught fire in Plant City as well. I have satellite, which starting Project 12, not just in our backyard, but in other hairstylists' backyard. So, and
it can grow so much. I mean, that's it. You know, it can go into, like you said, cosmetology. I mean, you can do the hairstyles. You can help with makeup suggestions that might be very simple for somebody to do. So, what are your future plans? How are you planning on expanding what you're doing now?
Well, we've already come far for the last 2 years.
Sure.
Our nonprofit started in April, so we're in the stages of nothing but forward with more chapters for Project 12 outreach globally, not just in Central Florida, all over the United States.
Okay, and Al, that's how you're going to be taking part.
Yes.
And this is doing more outreach in different areas.
Well, we need to structure it better. We look not volunteers. We look now where the need is. We would want a mobile unit like an RV, which you can use as a station where you can travel to people and help them and just touch people with the hairstyle. And as you said, if you go and get your hair done, it's not just that, but it's also the ability to talk about the problem, have someone that listen to it, take off your burden. So there's just a lot more involved than just getting a haircut. And that's where Valerie's idea is just fantastic about that.
Great. Now, where can we find out more about Project Outreach and how can our community help you?
Well, you can go online on the project12outreach.org. You'll have all the opportunities there. You can help us in 3 ways with donations. It's online donations, or you can send it via snail mail, or you can donate in person to help us spread the word, spread the help, and give as many people the opportunity and the possibilities to be a better person in the community and to be feeling good about that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And best of luck with all of your future plans.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on Suncoast FYI, we have a preview of the Englewood Pioneer Days. The Englewood Pioneer Days are underway, and there are some great events to take part in this weekend. Joining me now is Christy Phelps, the chair of the Englewood Pioneer Days and Festival. Welcome. Boy, you've been busy already. You've said this is going on the 3rd week.
We are on our 3rd week.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow.
We started the middle of August with our Little Miss pageant, and we had our bowling for a cause the very first weekend, the 18th and 19th. So now we're moving on, and we're wrapping everything up this weekend.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the segment, but why don't we tell everybody what they are and how they started and how you got involved and what do you do? That's a lot of work.
Well, first of all, the Englewood Pioneer Days started by Jo Cortez, and she was the first editor of the first newspaper in Englewood, the Englewood Herald.
And when was that?
1956. She decided that the little town of Englewood, needed something to spark the summer along because it was so slow. As we all know, the winter visitors, they weren't called snowbirds back in those days, went back home. They went north because there was no air conditioning here. So everyone else had to tough it out during the summertime, and so she created a festival, a celebration of the summer, the largest in the entire state, and everybody knew it.
Wow.
So fast forward many years, and it has changed hands several times, and 10 years ago my husband Eric saved the parade and came in, and we had 4 events, and to this day now we have 18.
Oh my gosh.
So in 10 years we've grown quite a bit.
Wow. And all volunteers?
All volunteers. We have about 450 altogether with all the organizations that we have and we use. So it's quite a few people that are involved, plus all the people along the way that support us, our businesses and our community and all the neighbors and friends.
Well, I'm sure there are a lot of things you're proud of. Are there any in particular that you would like to share with us?
I would say probably the involvement of the community. I think that this is one event that everyone feels ownership with. This is a community committee that we formed that anyone can be part of. So they can come in and add what they'd like or make suggestions, volunteer, help, come up with new ideas maybe that we haven't done, or maybe something from the past. But to see a community come together and know that this is historical, they want to preserve something, they want to protect it, and they feel ownership. And to me, that is probably the greatest accomplishment we've made to
that
date.
must make you feel wonderful.
It feels
too, after all of this. Now, what is the most difficult part of organizing multiple events now, going from 4 to 18?
That's the most difficult
gosh,
part.
okay.
This year has created a lot of plan Bs. So what we thought we had on paper many months ago, because we work all year, we take December off. So as soon as the parade is over, we wrap everything up, we start making plans for the next year. Come January, we're inviting people in. You put it on paper, it really looks good until you have to apply some of those more, we have things we have to do now. And obviously, with some changes in the weather and some things in particular that have happened in our water, it caused us to make some additional changes. So the challenges are really adapting, being fluid, knowing that you're going to have to make changes that you really didn't count on. But we have a great community, so everyone stepped up and understood that Plan B, well, it has to be.
That's what it's going to be
our
this
plan,
year, right?
Our plan.
So what is taking place this weekend?
This weekend, first of all, we will name our mayor on the 31st, and the mayor then will go to our cardboard boat race on Saturday.
Cardboard boat race.
Cardboard boat race. Now, this was supposed to be at Indian Mound Park and Lemon Bay, but due to the the blue-green algae and the red tide, we had to move it, and we moved it to a swimming pool.
Oh, how fun.
So we found the largest pool in Englewood, which is in Charlotte County, and we thank them for them doing what they have managed to do, and we're putting the cardboard boat race in a swimming pool.
All right.
So the mayor will go ahead and make the inauguration, and the first boat will go into the water, and they hope they are able to make it around the course.
Okay.
And from there, we have our shipwreck dance that evening. And that evening is starting off with our drum circle in Englewood, our Englewood drum circle. We have a couple comedians, and then we have Kettle of Fish from Sarasota that will be playing.
Wonderful.
So we love them, and we know everyone will join us and come down because we don't have a smell in our area. So yay, it'll be great. And then on Sunday morning, we get everything set up for the festival, a 2-day festival starting at noon on Sunday, running until 9 o'clock at night. And then Monday, well, that's of course our parade. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then our festival goes until 3. But we do have 2 car shows going on at the same time. So we have an open car show on Sunday on Dearborn Street, and then a Corvette car show on Monday. Great kids area, wonderful vendors. We have more than we've ever had, lots of food, lots of things for people to do. Everything is free.
Really?
So we make sure that the children are taken care of. This year we partnered with FPAN, which is the Florida Public Archaeology Network, and they're bringing their exhibit in. We're doing arts and crafts with them, and again, everything is free. We have a literacy area. We're going to try to give all the children a gently used or new book.
Wonderful.
So we're really trying to make sure that families understand that we can give them or deliver something to them. Considering it's been a rough summer for us, we're going back in time, and our theme this year, A Journey in Time, looking at what Joe Cortez did for us 62 years ago.
That's wonderful. And our viewers can go to
EnglewoodPioneerDays.com. All the information is there, the schedule, applications, everything.
Wonderful. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your hard work that you
you.
do for the community.
Thank you. It takes a village.
There you go. Well, you've got them.
I do. Thank you.
Coming up after the break, we'll take a look at what events are taking place this weekend on the Suncoast. Let's take a look at a few things happening this weekend on the Suncoast. This Monday is the first annual Labor Day party in the park. The event is free and runs from 10 to 5 p.m. at the Bay Gardens Park and Rec Center in Bradenton. And celebrate Beach Club's 71st anniversary party this Saturday on Siesta Key. The party kicks off at 2 p.m. and runs till 2 a.m. If you would like to promote your community event on Suncoast FYI, we would love to hear from you. This is a complimentary service. Please call our producer, Robert Pandolfino, at 941-361-4616. To view previous episodes, go to snntv.com under Programming. I'm Nancy O'Neill, and we'll see you next Friday on Suncoast FYI.